everybody, it's Jill from glimmerbug.com, and I'm here to share with you a quick product review. I found these colored pencils. They're Kalour or Kalour colored watercolor pencils. I found them on Amazon, and there's 72 of them in here, and they're pretty cheap. So I wanted to kind of take a little look and see what how they turn out. So they're very pretty. Look at how pretty they are. And they come with a water brush, which I am not a big fan of these water brushes. I never have very good luck with them. Plus, my I don't like it when the tip is, when the bristles are actually white. I get freaked out when things like change the color of the bristles, and then I end up not using them. So yeah, there's a nice array of colors in here. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get them because I'm always talking to people in the studio when I teach classes about various types of materials and how not to break the bank. So I thought, well, I'm going to give these a try. So I thought I'm just going to tape off a page in my journal. I've got some paper and some a brush, and I'm just going to kind of futz around and see what it's like. So I thought, well, I'll just give it a try and see. So they're nice. They're kind of bright, which is perfect. I'm just going to do some very simple flowers on this one. Maybe some, different colored backgrounds or something. I don't know. I really don't have a plan. I'm on the non-plan plan. And they don't have the names. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. They do. Opera Rose. So that's pretty good. I didn't think they did, but tell me to shut up because they actually do. So this one is, lilac. I'm not entirely sure why lilac has 2 stars and Opera Rose has 3 stars. That I'm not entirely sure. This one has 4 stars, marigold. So I'm not entirely sure what that indicates. There's not like it's a, oh, hang on, I see in here. Hang on, I'll go back to this in a second. Let's see, does this say? Nope. Just non-toxic, But there's not like a map that I can see as to what that means. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know what that means. So whatever, right? As long as they're pretty. So we'll see how these blend. I'm just gonna fill in a couple of colors. Maybe I'll do some yellow over here, or what is this, marigold? You don't have to push down too hard to get a deeper color, so that's pretty good. And then how about a little orange in the center? What is this one? Orange Lake. That's got 5 little plus marks. So I don't know, kids. I don't know what the significance of the pluses are. There must be some reason that they put them there, but let's see. This one has 3, lemon yellow. Maybe it's like how dark the color is, or how maybe permanent. I'm not entirely sure. This is Jupiter pink. No, what is this? Jaipur pink. Jaipur. So they go into the paper nice. Now I think I'll do some little leaves or petals on my flowers. So I'm just going to be very simple. I'm not going into too much detail because I just want to really see how the color, they don't feel overly waxy, which that's kind of nice. But we'll see once I put it down with some water, I get some water going. We'll see what it dries like, because a lot of times I like to go over my artwork with black pen, and sometimes if the lead is too waxy, it doesn't really stick that great, you know, like the almost resists the black waterproof pen. So, and I like to do that a lot, so we'll see if that's anything that changes. But so far so good. Can you hear my dogs snoring? They're so sweet. They're little pugs. And they follow me all over the house all day long. They're just sleeping right over here. So you might be able to hear them snoring. Alright, so there's some yellow. Let's do maybe, let's do a little red and see. This is vermilion, and that's got 5+ marks. I'll do these a little bit of a different shape. I'm just using 140-pound watercolor paper, nothing too fancy. I think it's from a pad that I grabbed at Michael's, you know, just for some futzing around and playing around and making little scrappy pieces for. I'm interested to see how these are going to work, because I don't know what to really expect. And I tell the people in my art classes, they take in studio and online classes, that, you know, I don't like to break the bank when it comes to art supplies. I think you could make something beautiful out of, you know, a pack of Crayola crayons. So I'm always kind of on the lookout for bits and pieces that aren't going to make you have to, you know, go without eating for a week. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do one more color. This is Bengal Rose. This only has 2 pluses. So like I said, whatever the heck it means, I don't know. I'll do some, just fill in some blanks. Just to get some different color. This one is Light Orchid, 2 plus signs. I'm dying to know what that means. I'll have to look it up. Alright, let's get some leaves rocking. So let me just do some very simple stems. Yeah, they're not like chalky or anything, so that's pretty good. We'll see what they turn out like once I get the black pen out, because that'll be my make or break, because I love using black pen to outline most of my artwork. It just makes it pop. Oh, what was this color? This one is dark cadmium green, and the other one was, what the heck was this one? Permanent green light. So the colors are, that doesn't look like it's too light, but okay. This one's Prussian green. Prussian green. This is not my most unique piece that I've ever made, but sap green. That's pretty dark. Oops, wrong one. Oh well. I just really want to see how they come together. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to these little bits that I have. This is primary blue, just to see how it mixes. Let's see, you should probably have a stem, so we'll take some of this Viridian. And you need a stem. Alright, I'm getting excited. I want to see what the water's going to do. And I'm not going to use the water brush because, like I was saying, I just don't like them. They are not one of my favorite tools. I probably should give them another chance, but I just don't like them. Maybe if I did like more painting outside or something I would, but not my cuppa. Alright, let's see what we got. So I've just got like a crummy little, I don't even know what size this is. It's probably like a 8 or something like that. Alright, let's start. We'll go left to right. So let's start with this guy. And then I'm going to wash off a little bit and see how we blend. So not too bad. I mean, I'm sure, you know, Derwent ones are probably much more sophisticated and top-notch, but not too bad. Let's see this guy. So they blend pretty easily. Alright, I'll try this one. It's a nice group of colors, like a nice array of choices. So that's good. I'll have to make some swatches so that when I do use these, I know what color is what. Because if this is primary blue, you know, I want to see how different it is from the other blues. All right, let's try this guy. I'm going to work from the yellow or the orangish color into the darker orange, into the yellow. All right, so not bad. They do stick, the color stays pretty true to what was down, so that's a good thing. You can still see a little bit of the pencil mark. Now that probably depends on how hard you push down with your, you know, how heavy your hand is. And some of these I didn't push down. Oops, I went over the yellow there. Let's get some green going. And like I said, this is not any sort of, you know, masterpiece extraordinaire. I just want to see what the colors do. All right, let's get this one going. So you can still see that pink doesn't really blend as well. That dark pink, that doesn't really wash out as much as the other colors do, so it's stays pretty defined. It was a little better, but like I said, it could be dependent on whether or not I push down hard enough, or, you know, it's going to take a little kind of practice to get used to how much pressure to use and that kind of thing. But the colors are pretty nice. This is a nice green color. Nice and bright. And I do like when leaves a little texture here and there. If I didn't want the texture, I would have just used the regular watercolors. There we go. Leonard, come here, buddy. So this is I like these the bright greens. They're pretty. I'm going to let the green and the red, I'm going to let the green dry before I go into the red, because we know that if the red mixes with the green, we're going to end up with some mud, which mud is great when you want it, but if you don't want it, don't mix up the warm and the cools. It's funny how my go-to doodle or my go-to thing to have in any art journal is flowers. I just love drawing flowers because they can be so imaginary. They don't have to be real. My art is very whimsical. It's not realistic by any means because realism stresses me out to try to draw it. I don't like that style. I can appreciate it. I just don't like doing it myself. All right, so greens are pretty halfway decent. Let's get some. Let's activate this red. Let's see what we got. I'm just going to kind of go in and push it around to activate. So that's a nice bright red. And again, because I pushed down pretty hard with my pencil, I think I'm leaving marks around the like where I drew my petals for these. They've made like an indentation into the paper, so just gotta be mindful of that. But it mixes nicely, you know. All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to do something with this green because that is going to end up turning into mud. So let me just wipe up some of that water so that hopefully it won't be too much. But I'm getting anxious to see if the black pen is going to be repelled or not. I've got a little fan going on my desk, so I'm just going to actually put that over so that it'll dry a little quicker as I go. All right, let's try this yellow. So it seems like it to be a good, like a good set for, you know, if you're not going to break the bank, and it's a nice little hobby set to have. I can't remember exactly how much it cost, but it couldn't have been more than $20 because I'm cheap when it comes to trying things out. I don't want to spend a ton of money on something that I may or may not like or may not use. But they caught my eye when I was looking at watercolor pencils, just plain gray ones from a class that I'm teaching, and I saw these and I thought, oh, that might be kind of a fun little project to try out and see if these are decent, so I can tell my people when they take the classes that this isn't a bank breaking set. I'm just a little concerned it might be too waxy, but we'll see. We'll see. And I have a set of beautiful Derwents that I just like love, and I got them on some sort of a crazy sale a million years ago, and I use them sparingly because they're just so special, and they're so, you know, they weren't as expensive because I got them on a crazy sale, but still I have to make sure I keep them in good shape. So all right, so I am just going to let this dry, and then I'm going to give a try out with my black pen. So let's dry this and then we'll be back with the black pen. All right, we're back. This is pretty dry. I've just grabbed just a Sharpie because I want to see how this looks when I doodle on top. If it keeps the ink or it repels the ink. You know, sometimes they can be waxy and not really work too great. But so far, not so good, not so bad. That's pretty good. I don't see anything like bubbling up on the surface. So, but this is with a Sharpie. So I'm going to try this one and maybe another one of my black pens that I use. But the Sharpie seems to hold off pretty well. All right, I'm going to do 3 with the Sharpie, and then I'll do the next group with a different pen. The colors stayed nice. They dried nicely. Oops, it was a little messy. Well, I like the way that these are working with the black Sharpie. They're pretty vibrant, which is nice. I'm a fan of the colors, but once I swatch them, then I'll be able to tell a little bit more about what color looks like, you know, what I'm looking for. So, all right, so that's Sharpie. Let's try, this is another one that I use, the Vision Elite from Uniball. So let's try this one out and see how this is like a more of a gel pen, which can be a little tricky because gel can skip like it just did right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it skipped a little bit. It wasn't a smooth line. So this one might not get along as well, or maybe I just need to draw a little bit slower. It's still not too bad, huh? All right, let's see. Glides over it, so that's good. I'm not gonna kind of push it around because I don't want it to smudge until I know it's dry, but cute. Oh, that one went off the friggin' mark. Yeah, see, it skipped again a little bit here, and I don't know whether that's the pen or the pigment. It could be the pen because it's a whatchamacallit, a gel pen, because gel pens can be kind of finicky. Yeah, so that's a good one. Do I have any other black pens that I use? I don't think I have any up here per se that are, oops. Yeah, I don't. Well, you know what? While we're here, let's just see how the white gel pen works. This is the Uniball Signo, and we'll see if this, not so good. Not so good. All right, so I mean, white gel pens can be tricky, so it can get frustrating, but it doesn't look like it's that they play very nicely together. I mean, I guess it's not bad, but it's going to take some frustration. And again, that could very well be the pen, because it's a gel pen. I don't want to blame the pencils, but just from, I know the ink is coming out, because if I draw on my finger, I'm getting white ink. But when I go to draw on the paper with the pigment, it's having a hard time kind of getting it going. Might be too slick to take it for gel pens. I'm sure if you get it, you can get it working, but it's not going to be super fast, super easy. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. You can see it there. I wish I had another gel pen to try it out and see if it, what I do have, it's not gel, it's just a Inkjoy. Let's try this one and see. This is just like a writing pen, but might as well see how it manages. It covers it. It's not too bad, even if it's just for a doodle. Yeah, that one works. So I would say that this is a pretty good deal for what you get. 72 pencils is pretty great, and for the price, you really can't beat the price. And it's worth, if you're looking for, noodling around with these and you're kind of new to the watercolor pencil genre, these are good kind of starting points. That way you're not spending all sorts of crazy money on pencils if you're not even sure you like doing it. That's a big thing, because if you're not sure, you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars to purchase a set of pencils, and then if you hate it, you're out all that money. So this is a good kind of a taste tester. But yeah, I kind of like them. Not so bad. For the money, it's not so bad. So I would say, if you're in the market, grab a set and see if it's something you enjoy working with. But there we go. Nice little doodle for some watercolor pencils from Kalour or Kalour. I don't even know how the hell you say it. Painting and drawing art supplies. Vivid and rich and vibrant colors, artist quality. So cool. So there we go. There we have it. So let me know if you go and give these a try. I'd love to see what you think. Have an awesome day, and don't forget to visit me on glimmerbug.com. Talk to you later.